Hey guys, I'm going to show you the top 5 fix-ups in my collection, ranked from 1 through 5, but first, let's quickly go over the honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list. Starting off strong, we've got Suited Triple H. I'm going to go over the formula for each figure and then talk a little bit about each one. So this is a Basic Series 131 Corbin body, which that head scan originally came from, with a Basic Series 119 Triple H head. I gave him interchangeable hands because this figure was released before interchangeable hands became a thing on Basics. So I warmed up the original hands, popped them off, and discovered that you could fit interchangeable hands in there perfectly. So now as a nice bonus, he has interchangeable hands. My only problem with this figure is that he has very minimal head articulation because of how the suit collar is with his beard. He's always stuck looking up, which is very annoying, but you can work around it with different angles and such for photos. I've included him in a couple photos over the years. My favorite was probably the WrestleMania press conference with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I had him moderate it, and he fits in perfectly. I like this a lot because I think it's the perfect representation of modern Triple H, with the open suit jacket, unbuttoned shirt, and the bronze suit that fits him nicely and is super unique. Next up, we've got this WrestleMania Elite Pat McAfee fix-up, which is very small but makes a big difference. Something that's annoyed me about Mattel over the years is that instead of giving people sneakers and street gear, they'll give them wrestling boots colored like sneakers, which is what they did for this Pat. I was not a fan of it, and I wanted mine to be more accurate. The last couple times we've seen him on commentary, he's been wearing cowboy boots anyway, so I swapped on some Elite Magnum TA cowboy boots that were white with red designs. I used acetone to get rid of the red and then went over them with one or two layers of white paint. I think the white provides a great contrast to his otherwise all black attire. This is the most recent fix-up I've made as of a couple weeks ago, and if you're wondering where the shirt came from all of a sudden, it's from Pat, but I wanted to include both of them in the video, so they had to share. The base is an Elite 50 Baron Corbin, and the head is from the basic 131, which is that Triple H I showed you earlier. My only problems with this figure are that he's single jointed, but there's nothing I can really do about that. And also that his head sits a little bit high on the neck, but for most angles you can't even tell, and it looks pretty good. I'm honestly just surprised at how much I like this figure. It turned out way better than I thought, and if you throw in the United States Championship, it really completes the look. It's the perfect depiction of Corbin since his return, and should hold me over until Mattel releases an official one. We've got an absolute classic right here. My referee, I made this well over 10 years ago, probably 2013 or 2014. The base is an Elite WrestleMania 28 referee Shawn Michaels, and the arms and head are from the Battle Pack Series 5 Primo. I chose Primo because his face is generic enough, and I didn't want to choose a wrestler who was going to be in the ring wrestling, because it would be weird if they're the ref and in the match. I know a lot of people use this formula back in the day, and again, I think it holds up. I know, of course, we have the John Cone now, so this is basically obsolete, but there's just something nostalgic that I love about this. Another throwback, Dean Ambrose. This is the Network Spotlight Toys R Us exclusive body and head, with the Elite 41 arms swapped on there for wrist tape because he had bare arms. I don't have a lot to say about this figure because it's so simple, but to me it's the definitive Dean Ambrose because it checks all the boxes. If I had to close my eyes and imagine him, I'd see his crazy eyes, black tank top, wrist tape, and patented blue jeans. Here's the first AEW figure of this video so far, but not the last, hint hint. So this is the Unmatched 5 Bryan Danielson head, arms, and lower half, with the Unmatched 4 MJF torso. I swapped the arms because they had MJF's tattoo on them, and then I used a tiny bit of acetone to remove MJF's rib tattoo, so it looks like it was never even there. This just looks way better than that gigantic torso that they gave Bryan that looked nothing like him. This is accurate, and he also gets way better articulation using this torso. I highly recommend doing this if you haven't yet. I think it just brings this figure up a notch. The only downside is that his head is a bit big for the body, but that's because it was originally scaled for that absolutely massive torso, but honestly, it's not the biggest deal to me. Last, but certainly not least for the honorable mentions, we've got Karrion Kross. The base is an Elite 93 Karrion Kross, with the Basic Series 144 head scan, plus knee pads and kick pads. I also removed the waist wrap, and added a little bit of sticky tack to the head scan so it doesn't sit so low on the neck. It does get a little bit of a weird tilt, but you can kind of fix it and make him look straight on. I really love the gold accents. They look great on the black attire. There's a little bit of paint chip there I should probably fix, but not the biggest deal. I'm honestly just surprised at how nicely the kick pads fit onto the Elite body because these are basic kick pads that don't have any articulation outside of swivel, but they actually fit nicely and he still gets great articulation, which I'm very happy about. This figure just exceeded my expectations when I made it, and I still like it a lot. I do wish, though, that he got one last head scan before he got released with his long hair, so it could be more accurate, but I'm still a big fan of how this turned out. Now that we got the honorable mentions out of the way, let's get into the top 5 countdown, starting with number 5. The Celtic Warrior Sheamus. This is another throwback. I made this probably 9 or 10 years ago, so we're talking 2016, 2017. It is a bar era Sheamus, so it makes sense. The body is an elite best of pay-per-view Sheamus, with the arms and head from the Basic Series 72. I absolutely love this head scan. It's probably my favorite Sheamus head scan ever. The mohawk, the beard, the nose ring. It looks just like him. I still can't get over how good it is to this day. An underrated thing about this figure is every Sheamus Elite before interchangeable hands always had a mic holding hand and a C grip hand, but by doing the swap, I was able to get a fist on there, which I think fits Sheamus way better since he is a brawler. My only problem with this figure is the wrist tape and trunks are a very slightly different red, which you can't tell unless you get up close, so it's never bothered me that much, but it is something to note. This figure also poses so nice. You can get any pose that you want. Bro kick, white noise, Irish curse, all of the classics. And something that I really love is how unique this attire is with the red, gold, and black. It's a departure from the normal Sheamus attire, which is black, white, silver, green typically, but this just stands out from other Sheamuses. I used this as my primary Sheamus for years and years, even after this look was very outdated, because I think it's the definitive Sheamus. Until the Elite 97 came out, which I think is now the definitive Sheamus. I don't know if it'll last that much longer until that Ultimate comes out, because that figure looks absolutely insane. But enough about that, we're talking about fix-ups. That's why this figure is my number 5. I still love it, I think it still holds up. It's just a really solid fix-up. Number 4. The Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. This is the MLW Boss Fight Studios figure, which I liked a lot when it first came out, but I know I can make it even better. Starting out with the major swap, we got the lower legs. This figure originally came with bare feet, so I swapped on some AEW Unrivaled Series 15 Chris Jericho kick pads and lower legs, keeping the pins in there from Jacob Fatu because they fit perfectly. I also acetoned off the lettering from the sides to make them plain black. This one's a little bit loose, but it's not the biggest deal in the world to me. I thought about acetoning off the designs from the tights or painting over them, but I think it's a nice pop of color, so I left it. The shirt is from @WrestlingFigureShirts on Instagram. They make great stuff. I got this from their Mercari page for like $10. It's very high quality and stretchy. I like how it's snug on the figure. It's a good look. The wrist tape is actually just black electrical tape that I cut and wrapped around his wrists. I didn't even do the cleanest job, but they still help to elevate the figure. And lastly, the bicep bands are from an Elite Boogeyman. The biggest selling point to me with this figure, besides the formula, is how posable he is. He feels like a Jazzwares AEW figure, which is so nice and smooth. People always ask me why I still don't have a Mattel Jacob Fatu, and honestly, it's just because of the formula and proportions. I don't like how they keep giving him skinny arms and skinny legs. This figure, to me, is perfect. He's thick, he has big arms, big legs, and I just really love it. That's why he's number 4 on this list. Number 3. Sami Zayn makes the top 3. This figure is very special. I made this before Elimination Chamber 2023 when he faced Roman Reigns. The body and shirt are an Elite Series 51. The arms are from the Elite Series 91, so they're double jointed. I'll show you when I take the hoodie off. And the head is from the Basic Series 145. I also gave him an unrivaled Walmart exclusive CM Punk hoodie. I know it has AEW logos on it, but I usually position him like this in photos so I can easily edit that out and make it look plain. The head scan on this is just crazy good. It looks just like Sami Zayn. It's like they shrunk him down. And I love the different tones in his beard, which is very accurate. Alright, let's remove his hoodie and I'll show you what he looks like with just the shirt on. Here he is without the hoodie and just the shirt. I prefer the hoodie and shirt look, but this is still pretty solid. Now let me show you what he looks like in just his ring gear. And here he is in his ring gear. I absolutely love this figure. I know you're probably asking why is he only number 3 on the list then, but 1 and 2 are heavy hitters, I'm not gonna lie. An underrated detail is they actually gave him chest hair, which Mattel won't even do on his modern figures for some reason. Also, something to note, in order to get these newer double jointed arms to fit on these older shoulders, I had to warm up the shoulder pegs in warm water and then use an X-Acto knife to cut it down a little bit. If you're younger, please get a parent or guardian to supervise you or just do it for you. I don't want anyone getting hurt for a Sami Zayn fix-up. It's not worth it. Other than that, I don't have a lot to say. I think this figure speaks for itself, and that's why he's number 3 on the list. Number 2. Maxwell Jacob Friedman coming in at number 2. I'm going to be honest, number 1 and number 2 are pretty interchangeable depending on the day or how I'm feeling. Right now I'm feeling MJF at number 2, so I'm sticking with it. I know this looks like a standard MJF with the robe on, but it's the ring gear that's the special part. Removing the robe, this is my black and white MJF fix-up. The torso, arms, thighs, and boots are from the Unmatched Series 4. And the crotch, knee pads, lower legs, and elbow pad are from the Target exclusive 2-pack with Jon Moxley. The head scan is from the Shop AEW 4th of July exclusive. This is easily MJF's best head scan by far. Jazzwares had a lot of misses with him, but this one is just spot on. I mainly made this figure because I was using the 4th of July exclusive as my primary MJF, but I didn't like having such a niche specific attire as my go-to. This is just a sleek plain black that you can't go wrong using whenever. Also, the legs on that figure were very stiff, and I was worried about them breaking or damaging over time, and this fixes that because these legs are buttery smooth. When I first swapped them though, they were extremely loose, so I put a little bit of cotton ball in each thigh socket, and that fixed it thankfully. The Target exclusive figure, I love the attire, but it had white boots instead of black, and also it had that weird zombie-like gray skin tone. This has the perfect tan that's way more realistic, and I also left the thigh tape from the Unmatched Series 4 because I liked how it tied into the trunks and the wrist tape, so now it's all black and white. I love this figure. I love head swapping it with the Screaming head scan because that's a lot of fun too. But he's sadly number 2, so let's see who's better than MJF. Number 1. The Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, takes the number 1 spot. How fitting. Put your ones up. This barely edges out the MJF for me because Jazzwares has released a bunch of ring gear MJFs, but Mattel, for some reason, refuses to release an Elite promo gear Roman, so this is just more special to me. The body is an Elite Hall of Champions Roman from the 4-pack. The legs are from the Elite Series 114 Jimmy Uso. I had to do the same thing as the MJF since they were so loose and put a little bit of cotton ball in there. Now they pose perfectly, no problems whatsoever. I want to throw it out there, this idea was heavily inspired by My Damn Toys, so shout out to him. The head scan is from the Basic Series 137, it's just your typical man bun Roman. There's no fade on it, which I wish there was, but it's not the biggest deal. The jacket is from the Elite Series 23 JBL, and the shirt is from the Beast vs. Tribal Chief 3-pack. I love that shirt, it's probably my favorite Roman shirt they've released. He's also got the Elite Series 107 Undertaker watch on there for extra added detail. I love the use of this shirt because it ties into the shoes and the lines on the jacket, just like the MJF. It's so sleek, the nice black and white going on. I love this figure, I love posing him, I've used him in a couple photos, most notably just like the Triple H, the WrestleMania press conference with CM Punk. I loved using him there, it works perfectly. I also enjoy swapping the jackets out. I tried the Unrivaled Christian jacket, and I like the way that looks a lot, it's a more unique look. He also looks great with just the shirt on, no jacket. This figure is so sick, I absolutely love it, and that's why he took the number 1 spot. Look at how good that top 5 looks together. Let me know in the comments what your 1 through 5 ranking is. I'm very curious to see who you guys would put at number 1. It was very tough narrowing this down to just 5, but I'm very happy with how my list turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video because I had a lot of fun making it, and you can expect more videos like this coming soon. Also, if you liked any of the figure photography in this video, and you want to make some of your own, or you're not sure where to start, please check out my last video, which is an in-depth behind-the-scenes look at my wrestling figure photography process. I give you all my tips, tricks, and secrets of how to create the best wrestling figure photography. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.